sleeping car of the Midnight Express, it's the IGN Digigods. So take off your thinking caps and please welcome two rebels without a cause, Wade Major and Mark Kaiser.
Mark, you know what that funky opening music was?
Oh, that's the greatest song ever written.
Well, first of all, that was a vintage 2008 opening, and to go along with it, we had some vintage Monday Night Football music. That's the original theme for Monday Night Football. You know why I played that?
Why?
In honor of Hank Williams Jr. That's why.
No, because in honor of football and in honor of the grand old gridiron game, we are going to start the show talking about baseball. Because we can. Because it's our show.
That's right.
We talk about whatever we want.
Whatever we want.
You know, it's baseball time. And, Wade, I have to say that I am rooting for the Brewers.
Really?
Yes, they're a fun team. And, here's the thing.
So if
they have like Prince Fielder and these guys, they have a certain amount of swagger that I think is just fun. You know, sometimes that swagger can tip over into showing off the opposing pitcher or being arrogant or being too flippant. But these guys are just fun. They're a fun team. You know, every year there's a team. One year was the White Sox. One year was the Angels. One year it was Tampa Bay. They're a fun bunch of guys who kind of came out of nowhere and they're coalescing like a real team. They're not a big market team. They're just a fun little team. And this year it's the Brewers. They're a fun team. I hope they win.
Well, you know what? I'm rooting for the Brewers as well, and in that same vein, as it happens, I'm actually seeing the new Footloose tomorrow morning.
You know, I didn't want to see that,
but I'm rooting for the Brewers. That's why I'm seeing Footloose tomorrow morning. Greg Brewer directed Footloose.
Oh,
jeez, do I have to hand it to you on a cookie?
Well, you just did.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to talk about baseball.
How's Hustle and Flow? How do you go from Hustle and Flow to Footloose?
You know, I can't remember if we talked about this. There's two possibilities. There's two possibilities. The first possibility is that it was just an open assignment, and Craig Brewer got it. Right? It's an open assignment. Studio's got a movie. They're trying to find a director. They call it an open assignment, and whatever reason he gets it. Yeah. The other possibility, which I sincerely doubt, is that Craig Brewer, who took a pass at the script, he may even have co-scripting. He does. Yeah. The other option is that maybe he is going to make this into something. Uh-huh. He saw some potential. Yeah. He wanted to make it because the original. Let's face it, the original. It's fine. It's not.
No, it's not. It sucks.
Whatever.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it's not. It's fine.
I was an usher at the theater when we played that. I've seen and heard that movie at least 100 times. It's terrible. Oh God. Anyway, baseball.
Oh yes. Okay. So here's the thing. I'll start with the little guy, then get to the big dog.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter, as you know, recently surpassed 3,000 hits for his career. He is one of the greatest Yankees ever. Mm-hmm. And there is a DVD called Baseball's Greatest Games, Derek Jeter's 3,000th hit.
He's a first baseman, right?
Yes.
See, I know things.
I
know a few things.
Oh, yeah. You know nothing.
Yeah.
So he got the 3,000th hit against the Tampa Bay Rays, and it was a home run, by the way.
Yeah.
And it was very exciting. It was a great. He had other hits in that game. It wasn't just like 3,000 hit and then he goes home.
Yeah.
He had a great game that day.
Okay.
And this is the game now. So that's on DVD.
Nice.
Now here's the thing: the Yankees are arguably the most, except maybe for Manchester United, they're probably the most valuable team in all of sports.
Yeah, I mean,
in the world. I mean, maybe
as far
Man
as valuable,
U or whatever.
yeah.
Yes.
I mean, as far as legendary teams in their sports, you've also got the Montreal Canadiens in hockey, but they're not that valuable of a team. That's true. I think in just valuation of the team, Yankees, Manchester United. I don't even think the Lakers are that valuable.
No. Put it this way: there have been. I'm rounding this up for simplicity. There have been about 100 World Series.
Yeah.
You realize that the Yankees have won a quarter of them.
Yeah. That's amazing.
That's amazing. And if you love the Yankees, there is only one DVD set you can get. By the way, notice I don't say Blu-ray.
Yeah, because it ain't a Blu-ray.
No. It is called Yankeeography Pinstripe Legends. This thing is insane. Now, this was on the Yes Network, so if you've seen it on the Yes Network, doesn't matter. You're still going to want it. This is 46 episodes, 44 hours, all about the Yankees. It includes a 32-page booklet, a bunch of player pictures. This is all about the Yankees. This is unbelievably definitive. This is it.
My gosh.
I love this thing. This thing was fantastic.
Wow, this weighs like 18 pounds.
It's got archival footage. It's got a bunch of documentary. The whole thing's a documentary.
I could exercise with it. I could bench press this.
Mickey Mantle's retirement ceremony.
That booklet that's gorgeous.
Play by play. Roger Maris hitting his 61st home run.
Wow.
There's workout footage with Babe Ruth working out, which of course he rarely did because he was Babe Ruth and was kind of fat and fat and drunk. But this is unbelievably definitive.
Wow.
And this is great stuff from A&E. This is a total.
Set that aside for the gift the gift guide show.
It's a great gift.
Yeah.
It's a great gift. I mean, it's expensive, but you're really getting your money's worth.
My goodness.
Absolutely. So that's great stuff.
Well, that's the show, folks.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh wait, wait! It's very exciting. Hang on. Now
we have listener mail today, by the way.
But we don't have any listener audio mail.
No listener audio mail.
What is wrong with you people? I'm telling you, it's nothing. You know what?
Gods@digigods.com. Gods@digigods.com.
You can record it into your iPhone and email it to us.
There you go.
It doesn't have to be like a whole production. Now, wait, here's the thing.
Yes.
I had stopped cooking.
I know you had.
And baking
and I
because I was getting fat.
I encouraged you to get back on the saddle.
Yes, I was getting fat.
And then I told you about my chicken paprikash, and you were all over me because you're 55 grams of fat per serving.
I clicked on the link that for the recipe of your chicken pop or whatever.
Paprikash.
Whatever. It's 54 grams of fat per serving.
That's actually not accurate. It's probably more like 28 if you use lean like chicken. They're assuming that you're putting like fatty leg chicken with the skin still on it, and it just bleeds fat right into the sauce. That's what you do.
That's why it tastes good.
Yeah, it tastes good because you're using a whole cup of sour cream in making the sauce, the paprika sauce. But see what I do, a little Chinese secret here. I actually use creme fraiche, which makes it even better.
And even more
and then
fattening.
instead of the water, I actually use chicken
broth stock.
No, well, not chicken stock or chicken broth. Chicken base. You use chicken base to make chicken stock. It's the best stuff in the world. Chicken base. Secret.
Okay. Well, my story is not that exciting. My mother had a request for vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
So I went and made vanilla ice cream.
Okay.
And you're
going to make me eat it, aren't you?
I was a little intimidated because this vanilla ice cream was like the one where you take the actual vanilla bean.
Yes.
You take a paring knife, you split it, you scrape the seeds out. You do
the
whole thing.
Take the worm out.
Okay, I have to say something. Now I'm going to make you try this ice cream live on podcast, television or something. This ice cream is not only the best ice cream I've ever made.
Yeah.
It is honestly the best ice cream. It's the best vanilla ice cream I've ever eaten anywhere. I'm gonna get up from the. And by the way, this thing is so smooth. I'm gonna take this thing out of the freezer. I haven't softened it.
Gosh.
I'm gonna take it out of the freezer, and you will see how soft it is with your spoon.
You go fetch that. I'll talk about some docs. While he is getting ice cream and that he's going to inflict on me, you know what? Prohibition has been on PBS lately. This is the new documentary by Ken Burns and Lynn Novick. And I got a Blu-ray of it right here. And you know what? This is a pretty terrific doc. It's a little long in the tooth, like all Ken Burns stuff. This thing is long. It's like 6 hours. But it really, the whole history.
I like this thing. Prohibition's good.
It is really good, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It's a tremendous doc. And I was getting a little tired of some of the sanctimonious history docs from Ken Burns. Like, all right, thank you. You know things. I understand. You do research. Thank you.
In fact, get this. I watched Prohibition, the documentary.
Yeah.
And I went and bought...
a still.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, a license for a speakeasy.
What's his name's book called Last Call?
Yeah.
I forgot the author's name. He wrote a book, and he's in
Carson Daly.
He's in the documentary.
Yes.
And he wrote a book called Last Call about Prohibition. I went and bought the book. I have not started reading it yet.
It's really, you learn so much here. I mean, it's a fascinating political and cultural history, and really, if you think about it, I mean, it's extraordinary. They passed a constitutional amendment to the United States Constitution banning alcohol,
limiting,
and then a few years later reversed it.
Yeah,
I mean that's like the most bizarre twist in American history.
It was the only constitutional amendment that limits an individual's right to do something.
Yeah. It's like the antithesis of everything this country was predicated on. So when people are like, oh, that could never happen in America. Yeah, really? It did.
It happened for about 14 years.
Yeah.
In the 20s and 30s.
Unbelievable.
All right. Anyway, this is a terrific doc. I really
Great.
like that.
And a really, really good Blu-ray. I got to tell you, it's a really good transfer. It's sharp. It's and it's nice to see the Ken Burns stuff because some of the earlier Ken Burns stuff not Blu-rayable because they didn't. There was no high def at the time.
That's true.
So you get Ken Burns now is paying attention to making sure this stuff has a real high definition archival quality. It's beautiful.
All right, wait. Speaking of beautiful, here's the thing. I've taken my vanilla ice cream out of the freezer. This, by the way, is great. This makes for great radio as we talk about eating ice cream.
Wonderful.
I want you to be honest.
Just take a spoon and just shovel it in my gourd.
Yeah, just take a spoonful of it and eat it. This, by the way, is live podcasting. God. How now? It's that right out of the freezer. It just scooped right up, right?
Mm-hmm. Very nice.
Incredibly soft.
Yeah, very soft.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, well done, Kaiser. Well done.
Seriously.
Yeah, well done. It's good.
You okay?
It's good. I'm on board.
You're not joking.
I'm on board. No, I'm on board. Did you do it all the way from scratch with like rock salt and whatnot?
Wait, so rock salt?
Well, you make ice cream with rock salt.
I didn't make this with rock salt.
Okay, what'd you make it with?
It was very
I know. You went and you bought yourself some Haagen-Dazs, and then you threw your own vanilla bean in it.
But it's that good, right? It's that good. Come on.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
It was very delicate.
Yes.
Because as I said, I had to split the bean and everything.
Yes.
Right? It's very delicate work.
Don't go around in public telling people that you split beans because it could be misconstrued.
Okay, thank you. In fact, it was very delicate work, Wade. In fact, I had to buy a special brand new piece of equipment.
Oh, no. Here we
go. In
go.
order to make this happen.
You're going to Shanghai me right live on the show. Oh, my gosh. There they are.
Yep.
He's got glasses.
Yep.
Yep. You know what? They look good. Welcome to the club.
Yep. Yep. I have reading glasses.
But they make the world look fabulous, don't they? Of course they do. Nice frames. What frames are those?
I don't know. I have reading glasses. Who cares? I'm
Okay.
old.
All right.
Ugh, it was
You know,
terrible.
a lot of it's not terrible. You'll deal with it. Okay, more
By
docs.
the way, the whole vanilla ice cream thing
Yes.
was I mean, it wasn't a pretense. I really
Yeah.
did it.
Yeah.
But the punchline was the unveiling of my reading glasses,
That's
which
pretty
I
great.
thought would make you freak out.
It didn't make. I'm very happy for you.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
Yeah.
Okay, quickly blow through
I'm
some other
taking them off,
docs.
by the way.
I'm going to blow through some other
Because I don't
docs.
really need them, unlike you.
Planet Earth on Blu-ray, the 6-disc special edition. Pretty great. If you've ever seen the Planet Earth stuff, there's just no question. You got to see it on Blu-ray. There's no other way to watch this stuff. It's all nature documentary stuff, but gosh, it's gorgeous. The bigger the TV, the better the TV. The more high-def-ier the TV, the better. And at some future show, we should really talk about megahertz issues, because I know so many people that are like, why does my movie look like video?
God, I love this vanilla ice cream.
It's because they're running their television at 120 hertz, or even 240 hertz if they have one of the really whiz-bang jobs.
You know, I
And they
have
shouldn't do
friends who like watching movies at 120 hertz.
They're crazy.
They're out of their minds.
They're crazy.
It looks like a video.
It looks like video. It looks like a soap opera. It's ridiculous. They're crazy. There should be a law against that, like prohibition. We should pass a constitution amendment. A constitution. Anyway, there's some bonus programs on here as well, and it's great. It really is great. It's just more nature photography than you'll ever be able to watch in one sitting, but, it's good for kids and stuff. It'll just keep them occupied. Why not? And then we also got Nostalgia for the Light, which is a tremendous documentary from director Patricio Guzman, who previously did The Battle of Chile. And this thing is amazing. This is, believe it or not, there's a whole scientific and political history to this thing that most of you have never heard of. And it's about this thing called the Atacama, which is this barren desert place in Chile where you can see the skies better than almost anywhere else on planet Earth. It's amazing. You can see everything. And this is where some of the best radio telescopes are. And this figures into really kind of a fascinating period of Chilean history as well, because this desert is where political prisoners were buried, where Pinochet would basically have all of his victims taken out and tossed. So there's a whole kind of dual thing going on between the issue of astronomy and then the politics, and it makes for just a really totally unique documentary. And I know you think, what the hell are you talking about? But trust me. Nostalgia for the light. You watch it, and then you'll go, oh, I get it. Astronomy and politics, and it somehow all comes together in a whole. It's brilliant. It's a beautiful, poetic film.
And stuff like that is why Blu-ray was created.
It is. It's gorgeous. It's just crazy gorgeous. In a very, very timely fashion. Also have a decent film here, a decent self-distributed doc, rather timely, it turns out, called A Mormon President, which is, it tries to sort of tie the history of previous Mormon political issues and presidential runs in with the current presidential runs of Mitt Romney and John Huntsman, who are apparently under attack by Baptists now with this whole the pastor toss-up and Rick Perry and the whole thing.
You know what?
Yeah. That was all the news today.
As they used to say, you will never go broke underestimating the intelligence of the American public.
It's fascinating to me, like definition of who is and isn't a Christian. Do we get like who is and isn't a Jew? Is that an issue among Jews?
Probably.
That answers my question. Anyway, it's decent. Obviously not as timely as it could be if it were being incorporating current events, but interesting nonetheless. And Disney Nature, African Cats is another movie that I would not have watched if not for the fact that it's on Blu-ray, and it's gorgeous on Blu-ray. And just kitties. This is kitties.
Stupid cats.
Kitties with spots and kitties with fur.
Look at the little lion puppy.
And kitties that eat people. And kitties that maul and make you bleed.
Kitty wouldn't eat me.
Yeah, that kitty
loves
would.
Me.
These kitties would. I love cats. I admit it. Big ones, tame ones, wild ones. They're just great. And African Cats is an awful lot of fun. I missed this in the theater. Glad it's on Blu-ray because it's just gorgeous photography. The Disney Nature people really do a great job. It's a nice division. I have my problems with Disney as a company these days, but
are you seeing Puss in Boots on Saturday?
I don't know.
It's
the 22nd. It's not this Saturday. It's the week from
next Saturday?
It's a week from Saturday. Yeah.
Do you want to see
It's
that?
like it's a Shrek spin-off.
I know. I really don't.
I don't.
And the thing is that all these animated films, they always screen on Saturday morning so that the critics can take their kids.
Yeah. I know.
And I don't know that I want to do that.
Anyway. No.
Anyway, Make Believe is a it's a good little documentary. It won the Best Documentary Award at the LA Film Festival, and it's a charming film. It's about it's about a competition at the World Magic Seminar in Vegas to pick the world's best teen musicians. So you get these kids. There are two from South Africa. There's one from Japan, and there's a couple from the United States. And these kids are, not all of them, but some of them are amazing. Really, most of the pleasure you'll get from Make Believe is watching these kids. The actual competition doesn't necessarily interest me, or didn't interest me, because I wasn't that invested in them personally. But the fact is that some of the stories, especially the boy from Japan, because he lives in a teeny tiny little town, where the idea that he would go to America and be the world's best anything is so beyond his comprehension, because he's from this tiny little nothing town. Yet the kid is unbelievably good.
Sweet.
And so Make Believe, it's got some really cute stuff in it. It's good.
And then we got a concert thing here. Bette Midler, The Showgirl Must Go On. This is a 70-minute show that they recorded from her Caesar's Palace performances. And you know what? It's great. I got to tell you, Bette Midler, she's such a freaking ham, and she made so many bad movies in the 80s. But honestly, the woman knows how to just rock it. She's got that Vegas thing, that Wayne Newton, Tom Jones, Cher
she's a born
thing,
showman,
where you can just walk out and you got your show nailed, and all of those people from the Midwest who've paid, $100 and some odd a ticket to wear their Bermuda shorts in from the hotel and get shown a good time. She rocks it. It's terrific. It's on DVD. It's on DVD and Blu-ray.
Guess how old Bette Midler is?
70.
65.
Close enough. I thought I was going to overshoot, and I did. Okay. Well, anyway, she looks great, and she's terrific, and she's a great entertainer, an amazing voice, and the songs are great, and the comedy is great, and the band is great, and the whole thing is just terrific. And you really feel, especially if you're watching on Blu-ray, like you're there in Vegas. The only thing was when she gets to Boogie Woogie Bugle Boy, I had a horrible flashback to For the Boys. To she and James Caan wearing that awful latex makeup at the end.
Any flashback to For the Boys is by definition horrible.
Horrible, yes.
By the way,
absolutely.
speaking of latex old age makeup, did you see the a trailer for J. Edgar?
Oh my gosh!
Oh, we
looks
watched
awful.
the trailer
we
together.
We did. I'm sorry. I just wrong. He wasn't Howard Hughes, and he's even less J. Edgar Hoover. Why do people keep casting him in period films? He's like 35 years old, and he still looks like he's 18. I mean, come on.
He's not. I mean, he's good in certain things, but not good in everything.
No,
Somehow he's being anointed as like the new
Brando.
I just don't get it. You can't put him in anything.
No.
I don't know why Scorsese decided he was my new De Niro.
I don't either. It's a mystery to me. And it's not like those movies that perform that well. It's not like he's really packing them in.
No.
He's not.
No.
I mean, whatever. Anyway, moving on. Well, let's see. We got new movies. We got foreign. Shall we do new movies? And we're going to start off with the Palme d'Or winner, a film that we both loved and still love, which is going to be right at the top of my top 10 list. I just don't see anything dislodging it before the end of the year, I got to be honest. The Tree of Life, Terrence Malick's amazing, incredibly ambitious, not totally perfect, but so close to perfect, you just can't believe it, masterpiece on Blu-ray and DVD and digital copy. We gave this thing a little workover before the show, really going through some stuff. I love the fact this is one of those Blu-rays where it says the producers suggest that you play this loud.
They really did.
Yeah.
You know what? And the funny thing is that we blasted the audio, and they're right.
They're right, yeah.
You're right.
It's
you know what?
mix.
It's an excellent mix.
It's an awesome mix.
Very detailed. In fact, I enjoyed listening to this film more in my living room than when I watched it projected.
Yeah. It's a great mix. It's a really good mix. Not exactly thick by way of extras. It's got, a featurette on it. Woo, featurette. But, wow, gosh, it's gorgeous to look at. And just so much richness in the colors.
I'm very curious to see the experience of watching the film at home because, again, the film is incredibly dense and almost impenetrable if you look at it a certain way. If you're at home and you're being distracted by the phone and the vacuum cleaner and your neighbors,
it's not going to work as
can
well.
You really experience it?
You really have to pay attention. I mean, for those who don't know what it's about, it's basically his 2001, Malick's much more spiritual but equally existential version of, kind of look at the meaning of life, all kind of centered around this Texas family in the 1960s. Brad Pitt's the dad, and Jessica Chastain is the mom. They represent, two different ways of going through life, and it's about one of their three kids who is torn, and then somehow we fold this in with the creation of the universe and dinosaurs and evolution and the existence of some kind of a central mover that may or may not be God, and an afterlife in which everyone kind of gets to repair whatever misdeeds they did, and it wraps up, and somehow you walk out going, wow, I'm not quite sure what I saw, but it's profound and moving and provocative in a way that movies aren't usually even trying to do.
And it was funny because a lot of theaters got stung because in the Midwest they would say the new Brad Pitt film. So date night couples would come see the new Brad Pitt film, and they would be assaulted by the Tree of Life.
Yeah,
and they were walking out.
No, it's true. I know a family that went to see it with the kids. Can you imagine making kids sit through that? It's a dinosaur movie. Really, the dinosaurs are they're coming soon. They're coming soon. No, the dinosaurs are coming soon. You get to a scene where they're spraying DDT in the faces of children. You go, wait a minute, where are the dinosaurs? Kids are going, Mommy, what's DDT?
Yeah.
All right.
But you know what? This is a gorgeous Blu-ray.
Absolutely.
And when I say gorgeous, I mean not only does it look great, but it is a 100% consistent to what Malick put on film.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yes, there's going to be some grain structure in it.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean it's bad. That means that's exactly how Malick shot it.
Yep. Right on.
The transfer process completely honored what he put on film.
If any of you have seen Maria Bello in the new Americanized version of Prime Suspect, I'm sorry. She's really good in it. I just don't like the show that much. I think it's not that well done. But, however, you have an option because Maria Bello is one of the best actresses currently working. I hope that television series does not mean the end of her film career, kind of like how It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia has removed
Danny
DeVito from directing or appearing in movies for like a decade.
It is true.
It's terrible. I mean, I want him to direct movies. He's a great director.
He had a great run. War of the Roses and Throw Mama from the Train.
Madeline is a terrific film. Madeline's a great film.
Even Hoffa. I'll buy Hoffa.
No, totally. He needs to make more movies. Anyway, Beautiful Boy, starring Maria Bello and Michael Sheen. We have this on Blu-ray and on DVD. I expected it to be a lot better on Blu-ray, actually, than it turns out to be. It's less shimmery than I would have hoped. But again, it's not a photography film. It's not, so very good on Blu-ray, but I think you're going to get just as much of an impact on DVD. It's all about the acting here. It's all about the acting. This is a tremendous movie about two people who already have a rather fragile marriage, and when they get news that their son has basically become a suicide shooter in his school, that just turns their world upside down. It just completely wrecks everything, and it's how they cope and what it does to their relationship and bringing them together and tearing them apart and bringing them together. Really amazing. Co-written and directed by Sean Koo, who is an incredibly talented director. I mean, these are great performances. There are moments in here where Maria Bello is so real, it shatters your heart. It's unbelievable. Really good commentary with Sean Koo and his cinematographer and editor. Deleted scenes you really don't need to watch, but the movie itself, on Blu-ray or DVD, is a sledgehammer. And, because this is an Anchor Bay release, I'm afraid that it may not get much attention when awards time comes around, because they just don't do that. They don't push their films for awards. Anchor Bay is not in the mix for awards season, but they should reconsider with this film.
Well, here's some inside baseball. Did you get an email from or a call from the publicist for this?
I did actually.
I got an email saying, "Did you get the DVD?"
And inquiring about awards potential.
Yes,
as though they're sort of fielding interest to see whether or not they should.
They emailed us and they said, "Did you get the DVD? We sent it out as a screener. What do you think?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Is there anything there?"
Yeah.
I answered
and I
her.
get that. Look, they have meager resources. Anchor Bay is primarily a DVD distribution company, and I realize that if that fielding an Oscar campaign is sort of not in their business plan,
unless they think.
But they ought to do it. They really ought to.
I told her, which maybe is a little bit out of school. Maybe I shouldn't say this.
No, go ahead.
I told her, I didn't want to say anything because, quite frankly, at that point I hadn't seen the film. But I said at the time,
yep.
I said, I haven't seen the film yet, but I'll tell you this: it's a wide open year.
Yeah.
You can take that for what you will.
Yeah.
Because right now, at this point, it's a wide open year.
It's wide open. There's no front runner for Best Actress.
No.
Not even close.
And so she took that to mean,
yeah.
Keep an eye on it. It could be worth it.
Yep. Good. All right.
Last Exit to Brooklyn, Wade, is this is a...
oh, my gosh.
What?
I remember this.
This is a film from 1990 directed by Uli Edel.
Yeah. What happened to him?
I don't know, but this is a really interesting film. I liked it. It is very bleak.
Her performance kind of annoys me a little bit, but it is compared. Honestly, I look back on it, and I think I'm kind of revising my original opinion of it a little.
Of Jennifer Jason Leigh?
Yeah.
Well, the movie charts. It follows a gang of these young kids, these young toughs in Brooklyn. A prostitute and an abusive father, and a union official who can't admit that he's actually a super left wing guy, and then another this other strike leader who may or may not be gay, and a father who can't express love for his kid. All that sort of stuff is going on in this little potboiler of a neighborhood, and it's good. It's good. You know what? I like movies that are not afraid to, tonally, at least in the look of it, they're not afraid to be as bleak as the story wants it to go.
Yeah.
They're not afraid.
They temper it a bit.
Yeah. Well, here they don't.
Yeah.
Here they go. Most movies do temper it. Most movies
true.
are too afraid to be too. They're too afraid to be too difficult.
Well,
too
they
dark,
pull
too
their
this.
punches. They pull their punches. Yeah.
Last Exit to Brooklyn. Say what you will about it. And by the way, it also co-stars Ricky Lake, a very young Ricky Lake.
And Stephen Baldwin. When did he stop doing movies?
Didn't Stephen become a God freak?
Well, but he hasn't been in movies in ages. I mean,
he and Kirk Cameron should do a movie together.
Yeah, I guess.
So The Zookeeper is a
heaven help us.
Is Kevin James's follow-up to the inexplicably popular Paul Blart Mall Cop. So what he does is he takes all the goodwill, the inexplicable goodwill built up by the massive success of Paul Blart, and he turns it into The Zookeeper.
Man,
this is just an unbelievably unfunny film, which you could. The thing is that you could see where the studio was like, he plays a zookeeper, which means there'll be animals, and kids love animals, and adults love Kevin James, and there'll be some fart jokes, and it'll be great.
And he'll do a little dance and do that little fat dance thing that he does because he's very Jackie Gleason-like.
No, it's not. He's not. He wishes in his wildest dreams. So this is the zookeeper, and now Kevin James is going to have to do something else because they're not going to be able to come up with more movies about Kevin James doing menial sounding occupations.
Yeah,
I think those days are over. But does a Blu-ray look good? Sure, why not? What are you going to do? Come on, it's a zookeeper. Who cares? There's a blooper reel. There's a featurette on all the animal co-star. It's all just meaningless. Just wait, take it away.
Okay,
make it go away.
Criterion, they pulled another one out. They really nailed it with this one. A brand new, fabulous Blu-ray, just gorgeous freaking release of The Four Feathers. An incredible color film from 1939. I know everybody thinks 1939, that was the year that they made Gone with the Wind and The Wizard of Oz. Those are the hallmarks of color in 1939. Not true. An amazing color British film in 1939, The Four Feathers, directed by the brilliant Zoltan Korda, who, Hungarian by birth, but really along with Paul and Pressburger, sort of established what British cinema would become throughout the sound era and everywhere after. There would be no David Lean, no Merchant Ivory, none of that kind of stuff that we identify so strong with British cinema, had it not sort of been forged by Zoltan Korda and Paul and Pressburger. And Korda is just a legend of the era. This is such an amazing film. This is from the Janus Films collection, who releases almost all of their stuff through Criterion. And basically, it's if you don't know this story, I mean, it was remade more recently by Shaker Kapoor with that kind of not such a great version that had Heath Ledger.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
and
that had so many problems, that version of it. But this,
Wes Bentley was in that too, right?
But this is the original. It's great. It's not terribly long. It's under 2 hours, and it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful transfer. Great Miklos Rosa music, just booms on the soundtrack. You just can't believe it. Fabulous commentary by Charles Drazen, who's a film historian. And then they interview Korda's son, David. And they also include this really fascinating short film from 1939 called A Day at Denham, which is just a little bit of behind-the-scenes stuff, which is really cool. So it just doesn't get better than this. This is what Criterion's all about, baby.
Wait, do you want to know what's coming up soon? Being released soon?
Sure, hit me.
Oh, the Terrible Hangover Part 2, coming out December 6th.
And Tyler Perry's A Medea Christmas.
Huh?
Tyler Perry's A Medea Christmas is coming out soon.
Well, I won't be seeing that.
Yeah, I know.
The surprisingly okay Captain America First Avenger coming out on October 25th.
Surprisingly okay indeed.
I think it's fair, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Yeah, that's right.
The Useless to Smurfs on December 2nd. The Change-Up, the horrible, disgusting, ridiculous Ryan Reynolds. I still don't get it. I'm just so confused.
You know, I just saw
Olivia
him.
Wilde, I want you to marry me. Can I propose to Olivia Wilde right here on the show?
Sure. And I saw Ryan Reynolds in a movie this morning. It's really freaking good. Opening Friday.
What did you see?
Fireflies in the Garden.
Oh, yeah,
which has
Julia Roberts
been on the shelf for 4 years.
So he's in that?
He's the star. He's the main star. He's really good. The whole movie is really good. And the poor guy who directed it, who wrote and directed it, it's his filmmaking debut. He makes it for a company that is mismanaged beyond all comprehension, goes bankrupt, and suddenly his filmmaking debut sits in somebody's closet for 4 years while he waits for his career to hope. How do you keep honestly,
how do you keep a Julia Roberts movie and a Ryan Reynolds movie
and Willem Dafoe
under wraps for
and
4
Hayden
years?
Panettiere, throughout the whole period that her popularity is skyrocketing with Heroes, this thing is sitting on a shelf. What the hell are they? How do you do that to this poor guy?
So did Ryan Reynolds give an actual performance, performance like a real actor would give, not like a smarmy?
No, I mean it's a little
unless he plays like sort of a character. I don't know.
It's a little smarmy, but he has cause to be, and it's really good, man. It's really good. Anyway, it's not what this show's about, but moving on.
The Change-Up, which is horrifying, that's coming out on November 8th. Atlas Shrugged Part 1.
Oh, thank goodness, because Part 2 is going to come out next year.
Why is it coming out at all?
I don't know.
That's coming out in November. And a movie that you liked a lot, The Devil's Double, is coming out on November 22nd.
Well, I liked it. I didn't like it that much.
Really? I thought you really liked it.
It's fine. It's good.
It's about the guy who became Saddam Hussein's son's double.
Yes, he was Uday Hussein's double. And actually made public speeches, and people thought he was Uday. And if you look at the guy, he really does, the real guy really looks a lot like it.
Dominic Cooper.
I just think it's a little bit. The actor is really good, and he plays both parts. What else is coming out?
Jessica Alba in An Invisible Sign.
Oh, my.
Which comes out on November 1st.
I have no idea what that is.
I don't know what that is. It's just bizarre. You know what? It's funny. You know, we have this conversation all the time. Your favorite stars starring in films that just go right to DVD. And you know what? It's funny because now there's a certain cachet when a film goes straight to cable.
Yeah.
Like an HBO film.
It's happening more
But
and
there's
more.
never been cachet when you go straight to DVD.
No.
It is impossible. It will always just say stinker.
Wow.
And by the way, Wade, I have to say that I was very excited, but I had to cancel my subscription to Quickster.
Because it's part of Netflix again. It's a fascinating development.
They are going to be teaching there will be weeks in like marketing classes.
Yeah, about how
they screw that whole thing up.
Yeah. Well, Blu-ray and DVD of a terrific film, which I'm going to tell you right now, this is going to be a sleeper at the end of the year when awards start getting handed out. This is a terrific little movie. This is another Anchor Bay release. However, theatrically distributed by the Weinstein Company, who's got money, and they are going to push this thing. Mark my words. This is like born to be a Weinstein award fodder. Great little movie, Submarine, by director Richard Ayoade, or Ayoade, or however you pronounce it. Wrote and directed this thing. It is absolutely great. One of the best coming-of-age films I've ever seen. Forget about Wes Anderson. If you want somebody who's the modern incarnation of Richard Lester, who's making Richard Lester-type films, this is it. This just screams of the Angry Young Man period and Richard Lester. It's got all that vibe to it. And it's great. It's about a kid played by Craig Roberts, he's just a loner, and his parents have this really awkward marriage, and his parents played by Sally Hawkins and Noah Taylor of Shine, who's not easy on the eyes, but a great actor. And there's awkwardness in the marriage. He wants to save his parents' marriage, and then of course there's this girl who's played by Yasmin Page, who's she's a quirky, nerdy girl, and they kind of have a boyfriend-girlfriend thing that goes on. And the whole thing is just sweet and charming and chaotic and eccentric and an absolute delight. Great soundtrack. Everything about this movie works. Look for this at awards time for sure. Submarine. And the only reason this thing got the proper theatrical release it deserves and didn't go straight to video, look at what it says above the title of the movie.
Ben Stiller Presents.
There you go. That's the power of Ben Stiller. He threw a presentation credit on this thing, and suddenly the Weinsteins felt like they could get some theater action out of it. So just terrific. Absolutely great. It's got a make-enough featurette and deleted scenes. Get it on Blu-ray. It looks so much better than it does on DVD. So much better on Blu-ray. This film is so well photographed. Such interesting colors and compositions. You will love it on Blu-ray.
Wade, look at that. Crazy.
Right on. All right.
Should we do viewer mail or listener mail? Or
yeah, let's do listener mail. Do listener mail.
And then, you know what? You go ahead and cue that up.
All righty.
Well, I talk about the trip. Now, the trip I'm talking about, of course, is not the freaky 1967.
Oh, the Corman era thing?
The trip. No, this is a trip from one of my favorite directors, Michael Winterbottom. Michael Winterbottom has done a lot of films, and they're all very different, and they're all terrific. And the trip is really, really funny. It stars two hilarious British comedians, Steve Coogan, who you probably know, and Rob Brydon. Now, the two of them starred in Winterbottom's previous film, Tristram Shandy, A Cock and Bull Story, which was also very funny, although I think that this is really, really good stuff. This was shown on the BBC. In fact, it was a 6-part series on the BBC, and it was just sort of compiled and turned into a theatrical. It's definitely a strange movie, and, it's great. Coogan does his usual, narcissistic, his narcissistic satirical thing, but he's so good at it. He plays a writer who is assigned by the Observer, the British newspaper, to go on a food tour of Northern England, and that is the trip. And so instead, Coogan and Brydon, they're driving around and they're just complaining and they're arguing and they're taking pot shots at each other and they're being totally hilarious. And Brydon does great, really funny impersonations. He does Al Pacino. There's also Michael Caine impersonations, Sean Connery impersonations, just really funny stuff. I mean, these guys, it's very freeform, but it's just really funny stuff. The only thing I'll say about it is that it's long, which is whatever, because again, it was a miniseries, so but still, it's not an unreasonable length, but still, it's a bit long, especially for kind of a trifle, which is what this really is or meant to be. But it is very, very funny. The DVD, not Blu-ray, The DVD contains making of, behind the scenes. Deleted scenes are funny, but it's good stuff. Really good stuff. I love Michael Winterbottom. I'm glad to see that he's in a bit of a phase of his career where he's sort of experimenting. I like him. I'm hoping he gets back to doing not real movies, but stuff important.
He always mixes it up, though.
Stuff.
Always mixes it up.
I love 24-Hour Party People. I loved Code 40. I even like Code 46, which a lot of people don't like. He's just really, 9 Songs was a little bit crazy, but still. Road to Guantanamo was great. Mighty Heart was okay. Anyway, I really like him. And The Trip, recommended by me for laughs, for funniness.
Totally. All right, some listener mail. And by the way, Mark, we've been making some mistakes lately. You know that? We're not perfect. We're demigods now. We're the IGN demigods. No, we did have some people email us and correct us when we talked about the 3D Final Destination movie. I think you had gotten the date wrong on the, and notice how I put the blame on you. You'd gotten the date wrong on the original Final Destination because there is Final Destination and then the Final Destination.
Yeah, what's funny is that I emailed him back and I said, as I was saying that,
there were a couple
it seemed
people
wrong.
Yeah.
It seemed wrong as I was saying it, but somehow we were in the moment, and I was like, I'm going with it.
And we're juggling, press notes and things at the same time and that kind of stuff. And then also, we mentioned that there were extras on the new Transformers Blu-ray. There are not, it turns out. And the confusion arises because very often, and I should be a little peek behind the curtain here, we're increasingly, having to choose between things that get released. And the studios are doing weird things like, hey, this movie's now available on VOD, digital copy, DVD, Blu-ray and DVD, 3D Blu-ray and DVD, Blu-ray alone, special edition, blobbity-blobbity, and there'll be 7 different editions to choose from, which is going to be confusing to the consumer, and it's confusing to us. And so they only sent us the Best Buy exclusive of the new Transformers film, which is not the same as shows up on regular retail shelves, nor the same as the special edition that's going to be released in a few weeks' time, closer to the end of the year, which will be loaded with extras. So, few crossed wires there as we're trying to juggle the product that we have and the product that we've been given notes on, and we blew it. So we copped to it. So alas, the extras that are going to be showing up on that other edition of Transformers are going to be coming out end of the year. But we had a great thread going, courtesy of an email that we originally received from Nicholas Gordon, and we started that on the Facebook page. You should go there, IGN Digigods. And basically, I said, I want everyone to weigh in on this. Nicholas Gordon wrote us the following. My wife and I were watching some old classics between exams this week. The Maltese Falcon, Psycho, Gaslight, Arsenic and Old Lace, Some Like It Hot, and Bringing Up Baby. While we were watching them, I had a question pop into my head. What is it about black and white that make movies look so amazing? I really couldn't answer it. There seem to be so many possibilities. It seems much easier to set a mood. Dark for Gaslight, Psycho, The Maltese Falcon, and bright for Bringing Up Baby, Arsenic and Old Lace, Some Like It Hot. Is it a nostalgic feeling, or is it simply just more glamorous? And we had a great thread going on this, and it's actually still going on, and some wonderful comments. Alexander Weiss says, I like and have always preferred more recent black and white movies, like I think the black and white works perfectly in Ed Wood, showing a world of misfits and low-budget movie. Also, black and white was the right choice for young Frankenstein. Nicholas Peterson says, can I just say the boxing ring with all the cigar smoke around it and Raging Bull is one of the best black and white shots in the history of life. Lance Taylor also says, can you imagine Eraserhead in color or Ed Wood in Schindler's List? How horrible would that be? And I think everybody agrees that there's something about black and white that is just amazing. But can we put our finger on it? Because like David Lynch once said, it takes you far, far away.
That's part of it.
You know?
I think there's something in the way it's a lot of it is the mood, the lighting, because somehow there's something about black and white and the way it just hits your eye, and the way it's lit and the way it throws shadows, that is just so much more primal and evocative than color. Somehow, when you have to consider color in your evaluation of a film, not that it ruins it, but it adds stuff. And black and white cuts through and just clarifies.
There's something about black and white as well. And it has to be the right film. Obviously Lawrence of Arabia is not going to work as well in black and white. But, Raging Bull wouldn't work as well in color. It has to be the right tool. And there's something about black and white that just creates a mood, a time, a place. It removes it from the present reality in a certain way. And lets you make things more stark and more defined, and it focuses your attention. I agree, it's great. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful area of discussion. So join that conversation. Chime on in. We also got an email from Brian Swagel, who writes us and says, every now and then you guys plug audio commentaries you've done. Since I've listened to your show for years, oh, you poor sap, I'd really like to listen to a DVD with you guys doing the commentary. What are some memorable ones I could track down? I mentioned that this is what we've done. We've done for a bunch of stuff for Vanguard, including Armless, Bird Can't Fly, Becoming Eduardo, Carcasses, Insignificant Others, Lily's Thorn, Pinprick, and Symmetry of Love. And we just did Jester Till, which is coming out in a few weeks. So that's quite a bit. I can't believe we've done all those commentaries. How did we think of that much stuff to say?
We just say the same thing for every commentary.
I actually really like our commentaries for Carcasses and Bird Can't Fly. I'm kind of partial to those. And Becoming Eduardo wasn't bad.
Carcasses is a good movie. I mean, it's an interesting film. It's a worthwhile film to watch, regardless of our commentary.
Yep.
And by the way, people don't know this, but or maybe you do if you've listened, but all of our commentaries are in rhyme.
Yes.
Everything we say rhymes.
It's true.
Every line rhymes.
Iambic pentameter.
That is right. It's very difficult to pull off, live without notes, but we do it.
We do it. And then Al in San Francisco writes us, and he corrects me again, another mistake, when I was talking about the that ABC movie, Different Kind of Love, or whatever it was called, with Sean Cassidy and Linda Pearl. I said Linda Blair. Got my Lindas crossed up.
That
it was
your
Linda
problem.
Pearl.
I'm not referencing some Linda Blair TV
Linda
movie.
Pearl. It was Linda Pearl. P-U-R-L. I got that
all
all
you.
screwed up. And I'm not going to do the line that Sean Cassidy says because people will never let me forget it. I'd have to do something politically incorrect. And then Ben Thompson writes us and says, with the remake coming soon, are there plans for a better edition of The Thing to be released on Blu-ray? The previous edition wasn't fantastic compared to the DVD or the HD DVD. Also, does the new movie have a chance at being decent? Well, we're going to see it tomorrow night.
I'm not going to see it.
You're not going to see it?
Yeah, I'll see it.
Okay. I don't think it has a shot at being decent. I think it's going to be terrible. But it's like a prequel, actually. This new one technically takes place before the John Carpenter film, as I
liked
understand
it. You know what? I thought the John Carpenter Blu-ray was okay.
It's okay, but it's not like big whoop-de-doo special edition. So
it's not a special edition, but I thought the video quality was a solid B+.
Yeah,
Looked good.
Solid.
Don't forget, I mean, the Carpenter films they're not big-budget movies.
Yeah.
And I remember the Carpenter film and just I think those because I rewatched the Blu-ray relatively recently, and those effects, all practical. There's no CGI.
Yeah.
Those effects are still terrifying. They're great.
Yeah.
It's a great movie, I must say.
Well, not to be confused with the movie that we just talked about, Submarine, is a new film from Danish director Thomas Vinterberg, one of the poor guys who got suckered into Lars von Trier's idiotic Dogma
how
thing.
devastating is The Celebration?
It's a good film, but it didn't need to be Dogma.
So, by the way, I have to say that here's the thing. This is my DVD pick of the week.
Huh.
The Celebration,
Yeah.
directed by Vinterberg.
Yeah.
Unbelievably highly recommended.
Yeah.
Under one condition.
What?
You read nothing about it before you go in.
True.
Literally, if you read even the back of the DVD... In fact, if
It'll
you
ruin
read
it.
the back of the DVD package...
It'll ruin it.
Ruined.
Yep.
In fact, if you get it on Netflix, I'm not sure if it's streamable.
Yeah.
If they send you the disc on Netflix, don't read the disc sleeve. Because the disc sleeve on Netflix, it gives you the plot summary.
Yeah, don't
do that.
It'll
Put
kill
it in completely, totally knowing nothing about it. Don't read one word, and you will be blown away.
Well, this is Vinterberg's new film, which was in competition in Berlin, and this thing got no theatrical release, and I don't know why, because it's really damn good. It should have been released by Focus, and I don't know what they were thinking. But anyway, this is basically one of those two brothers movies. It's not as original as some of Vinterberg's other stuff. We've seen, the Good Brother, Bad Brother stuff before. But boy, I'll tell you, it's pretty heavy hitting stuff. Really good performances, extremely well photographed, and bravo. This should have gotten a theatrical release, and I think that shows the void that exists now for foreign language films, that where this stuff's going straight to DVD instead of getting a real crack at being seen in a movie theater where people should see them. So it's unfortunate that Vinterberg now has to sort of slum it on DVD, but look for this if you can. Submarino.
So we've had Submarine and Submarino.
And Submarino. Exactly.
Now, Wade, why are we bearing the lead on these?
We're not. We're going to get to that right now because this is... these are the three things that we need to have a conversation about. And we need to spend a little bit of time on this.
I want these.
He says in his playground voice. We have a couple of Diamond Edition Disney releases here. Lion King in 3D and Beauty and the Beast in 3D. All tricked up in fantastic multi-disc sets. Lion King is 4-disc combo pack. Beauty and the Beast is a 5-disc combo pack. Both of them have to put a little sticker on it that says great value.
You know what? Because half those... Look, a 5-disc is like there's the 3D Blu-ray, there's the Blu-ray, there's the DVD... There's a digital copy. You're not going to...
No.
First of all, no one's going to watch the 3D one ever.
Correct.
No one's going to watch a digital copy because people are not digitally... Very few people are digitally copying
They
things.
got a Blu-ray 3D. They got two discs for the Blu-ray, one for the DVD, one for the digital copy, and then, on Lion King, it's the same thing except the regular Blu-ray is 1 disc. It's nonsense. Here's the thing. It's all the same whiz-bang special stuff that they've had previously on other releases, except now we have the lenticular cover and there's a 3D after-the-fact thing. Like, Disney now thinks that all those people that ran to The Lion King when it just opened and surprisingly overperformed last month, everybody thinks, or a few weeks ago, Disney now thinks like, oh my gosh, we got to do everything in 3D and re-release it.
It's so
like,
reactionary.
You could have released The Lion King in 2D and it would have done just as well. Because re-releases are like a thing of the past. Nobody realizes what a cool thing it is to do every once in a while. To re-release a movie in a lot of theaters and give it a push and let people go out again. It's nice. People can see it at home, but it doesn't mean they don't want to go out and see it in a theater. I mean, Lawrence of Arabia and The Sound of Music had great anniversary re-releases, about 20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Well, I'm
so
curious.
Why not? It was about 25 years ago, 20 years ago. So
I'm just curious how much 3D ticket was this only released in 3D theater when it was released?
No, there were 2D releases of it as well.
I'm just curious what the percentage of 3D tickets were sold versus 2D tickets.
It's just weird.
But you know what? I'll say this: both of them. Okay, forget the 3D thing because you'll never see it in 3D at home.
No.
But the Blu-rays are magnificent, gorgeous. Lion King, gorgeous. Beauty and the Beast, gorgeous.
Yeah.
The end. They look fantastic. It looks great.
But you can go out and get the previous release of Beauty and the Beast, especially in just Blu-ray. You don't have to get the 3D one, and it's fine.
Well, what Beauty and the Beast has, it has a Blu-ray disc of nothing but bonus features, and that's nice.
And the stuff on there is great.
Yes,
it's terrific.
I loved the Lion King. I love seeing the Lion King on Wade and I saw the Lion King on stage.
Yes, we did, and you've always blamed me for going there late.
Maybe I'll blame you again. Don't miss the first 10 minutes of Lion King. It's the most spectacular thing you've ever seen. You will not want to miss the first 10 minutes of Lion King. It is unbelievable. It is a spectacle unlike you've ever seen. We came in minute 11. Thanks to Wade. I didn't think there'd be traffic going from Malibu to Hollywood. Whoever thought there'd be traffic at rush hour going from Malibu 65 miles to Hollywood? I thought it would only take 3 seconds.
We have I'm gonna escape now. We have the totally inappropriate edition of Horrible Bosses now, which it's whatever. It's more easy to market this thing than to actually sell it. I mean, it's not great. But this is one of the first, and we got another one coming up next week, I think. This is the first studio release with ultraviolet digital copy. Go, Mark. Tell everybody what ultraviolet digital copy is in 10 words or less.
I'll read it off of here. Maybe they have it here. It allows you to collect movies and watch them at home. There you go. That's what it is. Read it right off the page. Done and done.
Oh, my gosh. So we get Horrible Bosses, Blu-ray and DVD and digital copy combo set, right? And it includes this purple piece of paper. Ooh, that's a tongue twister. Purple piece of paper. It was this purple piece of paper that says ultraviolet digital copy, a reviewer's guide. And then it's just like a whole bunch of crap. And it's like, really? If I need to read from this piece of paper to explain what this is to the people listening to the podcast, it's going to be a problem. Here's the idea. Because so many people have had problems with digital copy, like getting it to play, it'll play on my iPod, it won't play on my computer, it'll play on my computer, it won't play on my iPad, it'll play on a Google device, it won't play on an Apple device, and it won't, whatever. I can't transfer it to my hard drive, I could transfer it to my phone. The studios have now all gotten together and perfected something called Ultraviolet, which is a universal standard digital copy that you can do a lot of different things with. The idea is that it will sit on a digital locker somewhere, and that since you've now bought the Blu-ray DVD combo, that also entitles you to access your little cloud version of the movie.
That's what it is. It's the cloud.
It's the cloud. Your little cloud version of the movie that sits out there somewhere on a server somewhere, and all you need to do is just sort of log in on whatever device that you've got, and you can stream it to any device at any time, anywhere in the world. I don't know why that's useful. I don't really get the point, especially if you're getting that when you buy the physical media. But honestly, it's like, follow the instructions to get your digital copy. Go to the website, print it on the insert. Create or log into your Flixster account. Flixster will keep a digital copy of your movie in a cloud for you. You must be 18 or older to set up an account. I'd love to see them monitor that. Create or log into your Ultraviolet account. Through the Ultraviolet, you'll be able to enjoy the digital copy on internet-connected devices. Enter your redemption code. Instantly stream your new Ultraviolet digital copy from a web browser, iPhone, or Android device. Follow the instructions for each on the screen. You can download a copy for offline playback via Flixster Collections. Follow the link on the screen to download the software. I'm telling you, it ain't going to work.
The thing is that Horrible Bosses is the first Blu-ray to feature.
Yes, this is it.
Ultraviolet, and then on Friday, Green Lantern comes out on DVD or on Blu-ray, and that will feature Ultraviolet.
And boy, what a great pair of films to try and sell a new technology, right?
Yeah, really.
Boy,
you know what? I'm going to. You know what? I'm telling you. I'm putting this out there. I believe. You know how now some of these young kids are getting back into record albums and even cassettes. The big new thing now is cassettes. Cassettes are back in hip because they're
weird?
so cheap. Well, because it's really cheap for new artists to pass out cassettes. I think with all this cloud stuff that is confusing people, and there's a certain thing where you're trusting somebody else to keep your stuff, and what happens if something happens, and then if something happens, how are you going to get it back again? I think there may be a blip. There may be a resurgent blip, a blippy resurgence, a blip surgence of people.
A blip surgence?
Yes, of people wanting physical media.
Oh, I think you're absolutely right.
I mean, honestly.
I think you're right.
Yes,
and here's some of the media they may want to have. How's that for a segue into our last handful of titles? Mr. Nice did not get the release it should have gotten, but you know what? It's a good film. You should check up on it. It's out on Blu-ray and on DVD. We only got the Blu-ray, and that's the only way you should watch it. This is Rhys Ifans. Basically, as I guess, you remember the Johnny Depp thing that Ted Demme directed? Blow? You remember that?
Penelope Cruz?
Yeah.
Right.
This is a little bit like a better version of that. Rhys Ifans is amazing in this, and I hear he's really good in Anonymous, too. I hear he's amazing in Anonymous.
Can I say something about Anonymous?
Yeah.
It's
Quick, because we're at the end of the show.
Worst name for a movie ever.
True, but I'm eager to see it. Look, I mean, come on. Would you have ever expected
Roland Emmerich
to make that movie? Anyway, Rhys Ifans basically plays a very, very famous marijuana smuggler who, he was once just a really promising student in the UK, and then he became this infamous drug dude. And Bernard Rose, who previously did both movies like Candyman and Immortal Beloved, who's sort of all over the map, does a really good job. The movie is unfocused, and it really doesn't kind of have a point, and it's just a little bit too tricked up for its own good. But it's good and enjoyable and epic in a thoroughly involving way. So even though it's imperfect, I would really, really recommend this. I think it's got its moments. Mark, nail us on that one.
Judy Moody in the Not Bummer Summer. I can't say that this movie was made for me, but I will say that it's not very good. And the reason it's not very good is that, you know what, it's a bit like an explosion at the Kid Movie Factory, where it is just very colorful and very slapstick and very busy. And I guess it's good for kids with ADD, but otherwise it just doesn't really have a whole lot of charm because it's too busy being busy. Now, the woman who stars in it as Judy Moody is this kid named Jordana Beatty, maybe Beatty, not sure. She is very good. So, you know what? The kids might like it. You know what? I would give the kids a whole lot of sugar.
Yeah.
And then make them watch this movie. They'll jump out the window.
Awesome. And by the way, Heather Graham, she's like ageless.
Smoking.
Okay. Smoke. I know, but you're not saying she's like ageless because she's been smoking.
No, she was born in 1970.
Right.
So she's 40.
She's 41.
41 years old.
Jeez, she looks like she's 20.
I know.
God bless her. And with that, we are done. We'll be back next week. It is starting to really ramp up for the holidays. We're getting a lot of great titles. We'll be talking about Ultraviolet a lot, I'm sure, in the next coming weeks, and it'll become part of the ongoing conversation. Like BD Live. What happened to BD Live? All these things are kind of falling by the wayside now. Interesting. Well, anyway.
Oh wait, was I supposed to comment on that?
I don't know. I
thought you were going for the last word on the episode.
Well, I was. You give us the last word, Mark. What's our last word on anything of importance in the world today?
Snuggles.